What's up fam, Narghul here, back with another video. Today we are talking about Arms PvE Warriors. So my plan is, I already made Fury Warrior. Now we are talking about Arms PvE Warrior. Next I'm gonna do Fury Prot Warrior, then I'm gonna do Deep Prot Warrior, Impale / Shield Slam build if it's still possible. I still didn't check out talents when it comes to Deep Prot Warrior, and then in the end I'll make Arms PvP Warrior guide. So let's talk about Arms Warriors first, and why you should pick up this spec in the first place. You see, Arms build is juggernaut when it comes to tearing through trash packs. This is why you see Arms Warriors topping up the charts. If you enjoy seeing massive numbers flying during pulls and aren't rocking top tier gear yet, like BIS, best in slot, or nearly best in slot, this spec has you covered. But it's not all about trash packs. Arms Warriors are amazing when it comes to bosses as well. Contrary to popular belief, Arms isn't purely about spamming cleave like Fury Warriors. Its real strength comes from smart use of whirlwind, sweeping strikes, and finishing off weakened enemies, the enemies that have below 20% of health state with Execute. In fact, Execute can easily make up to 20 to 30% of your total damage, a large chunk of it coming from trash mobs. This is a stark contrast to Fury, which usually sits closer to 10% overall from Execute. Thanks to Precision Scuts, Rage Refund, even if you drop an Execute as your last global on the final mob, you'll still have enough rage to swap to battle stance thanks to Tactical Mastery and fire off sweeping strikes right as the next pack is pulled. That's just amazing. One of the perks of Arms over Dual Wield Fury Warrior is gear simplicity. You only need a single two-handed weapon. This makes gearing up a fresh warrior less painful, since you are chasing two specific drops each raid tier. Many excellent two-handers are available as early as Molten Core and Blackwing Lair. Weapons like Bone River's Edge, that sword is amazing. Weapons like Final Reaper. Then you have sword in Molten Core that increases sword by 7. Then you have in Blackwing Lair those axes that increases axes by 7. Then you have Ashkandi, Great Sword of the Brotherhood, etc, etc, etc. You have really many excellent two-handers available early in the game, and those two-handers can carry you well into Naxxramas without needing an upgrade. So while Arms Warriors lacks Fury Warriors' short cooldown bursts, it makes up it through extra attacks. The Master of Arms talent and Mortal Strike, which can hit around 20% harder than Bloodthirst with similar gear. Running a mace, especially something like running a mace or axe or sword, especially something like Edge of Insanity, Severance from Patchwork, Claymore of Unholy Might that has +7 sword, and last but not least, the Might of Menethil, for example, grants a flat 360 armor penetration, translating into a roughly 8 to 9% extra DPS on many bosses and trash mobs. On top of that, Slam has been reworked, so your swing timer keeps ticking in the background, only pausing briefly when your weapon swing is ready until Slam finishes. All of this results in a calculated swing timer focused single target rotation that plays differently, very differently from Fury Warrior. By the way, I already made a Fury guide, which you can find at the top of right corner. without further ado, let's just jump on talent points, talent calculator, call it however you want. But before we get into the talent points, we need to check changes when it comes to Arms Warriors. Counterattack has been removed. Instead of counterattack, we have Master Strike, which is, in my opinion, pure PvP talent. But you need it for Master of Arms. Over here, you can read. Actually, I'll read this later when I get actually to talent points. You see over here, Mortal Strike damage increased for all ranks, which means that your Mortal Strike does 10% more weapon damage now. That's just amazing. Then we have Slam, damage increased for all ranks, but rank 1. Rank 1, nothing. Rank 2, 60 to 65. Rank 3, 70 to 80. We are interested only in rank 5 over here. 90 to 100 weapon damage. This means only one thing, that we'll use Slam even more. Because Slam does 100 weapon damage now. Then we have Precision Cut reworked, which increases the base damage done by execute by 15, 30 or 45%. Depends how many points you have in Precision Cut in the first place. And we have swapped talent positions of improved disciplines and improved Slam. That's all the changes when it comes to Arms Warrior. Now let's get to that talent calculator. Okay, so first of all, what I like to mention is that I am not perfect, boys. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best warrior in the world. I don't know everything, you know. I might make a mistake here and there. Look at this guide, at this channel, like community where we help each others. I'm here to redirect you. Now, will you do it or will you come with something even better? Depends on you. You know, I'm here to present you what I came up with. Now, I would really love feedback. If you come up with something better, by all means, post it. Then we're gonna change it all together. So let me I think I have 3 builds when it comes to Arms PvE Warriors. Let's start with the first one. Tactical Master. You all know what Tactical Master is. Improved Heroic Strike also. Improved Red Garbage talent, but we need it for deep wounds. What to do? Now over here we have Master Strike, which is completely useless talent. Maybe useful for Wind Fury fishing, but then again you have Thunder Armor, of course. Then you have Hamstring, etc., etc. So if Master Strike costs more than 10 rage points, I wouldn't use it as Wind Fury Fisher. Performs a skillful attack, dealing 35% weapon damage and causing an additional effect depending on your main hand weapon. Mace disorients the target for 3 seconds. Nope. Doesn't work in PvE. PvP, yes, this is talent for PvP. But in raids, you cannot disorient anything. Maybe 1% of all the raids that are there. Maybe. Then we have swords. Disarms the target for 3 seconds. This is not bad actually in Naxxramas on captains, but that's pretty much it. Then we have access. Immobilizes the target for 4 seconds. Absolutely nothing. PvP, yes. PvE, no. Polearm deals an additional 100 weapon damage if the target you cannot main hand. You cannot main hand Polearm. I mean, you can do hand Polearm, but there is no polearm. I mean, why would you use polearm as an arms warrior? There are no polearms good enough for arms warrior. There are maces, axes, there are swords, etc., etc. I mean, yeah. Fist weapon knocks down the target for 2 seconds. Maybe this works. But then again, you are not playing with fist weapons. Therefore, erase it. Dagger silences the target for 3 seconds, which is... now I'm talking about NPCs, about mobs. When it comes to bosses, erase all of this. You can't disarm the bosses. You can't disorient bosses. You can't immobilize bosses. You can't knock down. You can't knock them down, etc., etc., etc. So, Master Strike, I don't know, 35% weapon damage. Maybe as a filler. Maybe as a filler. Maybe when you have 100 rage and all your cooldowns, including Mortal Strike, Whirlwind, Sweeping Strikes, Cleave, even then I won't. I mean, what is this? What is this in the first place when it comes to PvE? I don't know. For PvP, this is a masterpiece. This helps warriors a lot. But for PvE, just erase it. However, we need it for Master of Arms. It is what it is. Now, improved overpower. Let's put 1 out of 2 in improved overpower for now. Now, let's go with Impale two-handed weapon spec. Just look how perfectly Impale, Deep Wounds, two-handed weapon spec stacks with Sweeping Strikes, Mortal Strike, Whirlwind, Heroic Strike, and Cleave. It's perfect. Now, over here, Master of Arms, we're gonna put 5 out of 5. Nothing changed in Master of Arms. Adds the following blah 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 X. Increases your chance to get a critical strike by 5%. 5% is huge. Mace causes your attacks to ignore 6 of your target's armor per level. Per level. That means 6 times 63 when you fighting a boss, because bosses are level 63, you know. And when it comes to mobs, they are level 60, 61, etc., etc. So, yeah, maces, definitely. Especially if you have Might of Menethil, Access, if you have Dark Edge of Insanity, if you have Severance, Swords, if you have Swords, gives you a 5% chance to get an extra attack on same target after blah blah blah, hitting your target, Bone River Sedge. Then we have Ashkandi, Great Sword of the Brotherhood. Then we have Claymore of Unholy Might dropped by Glut in Naxxramas, and the list goes on and on. Then we have Improved Slam. Improved Slam is amazing. I mean, Slam is amazing. And Improved Slam reduces the cooldown of Slam by 0.5 seconds. Now, over here, they nerfed Precision Cut. That's where Arms Warriors were shining when it comes to execute and those big, juicy numbers, if you know what I mean. Let's put 2 points in Precision Cut for now. 1 point in Mortal Strike. Alright. The rest of the things are pretty much obvious, guys. Cruelty 5 out of 5. 5% crit chance. Unbridled Wrath gives you a 75%. You know what Unbridled Wrath is. Just read the damn talent. Then we have Improved Shouts, and then we have Enrage. However, now you can put 5 out of 5 points in Enrage without putting Blood Craze over here. There are no connection between them whatsoever, which is something amazing developers did. As you know, or don't know, you can manipulate Enrage on Turtle WoW. If you remember back then, on Vanilla WoW, Classic WoW, etc., 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 whenever you sit, you get critted. Whenever you get critted, you get enraged. That's what happens now, but when you pop Blood Rage, every single time you pop Blood Rage, you will get enraged. And every single time you start the fight, every single time, okay, so first of all, make sure to sunder the target. Rule number 1 when it comes to warriors: Sunder first global cooldown, GCD. Sunder or 2. Plus, Sunder Armor will help you. Sunder Armor will help you with Wind Fury fishing. Right. Where did I stop? On Enrage, right. So when you smash that Mortal Strike, when you get into Sweeping Strikes, then Berserker Stance, make sure to pop Blood Rage so that you get Enrage, and then you start melting everything around. Because 20% melee damage bonus for 8 seconds is a lot. I'm using Enrage twice per boss. Maybe sometimes even 3 times. Maybe on Patchwork. Rarely, but you never know. You never know. So, you will pop Enrage, aka Blood Rage, at the beginning of the fight and at the end of the fight. Right. So this is the first build I would do. If I could, I would erase 1 point in improved overpower and I will put it in precision cut. Right. Now, let's move to build number 2. Let's erase all this. Same thing over here, Tactical Mastery. Let me give you an example of Tactical Mastery. So, you're in Berserker stance and your target suddenly dodge your attack and then you swap back to battle stance and boom, you execute overpower. Enough said. Then we have Trash Improved Rend, Deep Wounds. Then we have Master Strike. Now overpop. We have to put 1 point in improved overpower, unless you want to put it in deflection, which will increase your parry chance by 1%. I don't know how 1 parry chance will save your life. I don't know how. On the other hand, over here, at least you are getting plus 25% crit chance on your overpower, plus your own crit, which is 20, 25, 30, 35, up to 40%. So your overpower will crit a lot, even with 1 point spent in it. You get me? You know what I mean. Then we have Impale, of course. Two-handed weapon spec again. Now, over here, Master of Arms, I am going to put 4 out of 5. I am going to put 1 point in Sweeping Strikes. I am going to put 3 points in Precision Cut, because listen, increases the base damage done by execute ability by 45%. That's a lot. And that's one of the biggest reasons why Arms Warrior stopping up the chart meters. Because of Precision Cut. Now, in Boundless Anger, we are not putting anything, obviously. Because why would we? Why would we? You'll never get on 130 rage. You'll never get there. Then we are going to put 2 points in Improved Slam. Right? And then we're gonna put 1 point, 1 point in Mortal Strike. Now we can do the same as we did over here. This is your build number 2. However, you are gaining on precision cut, you are gaining on big executes, but you are losing axes, 1% crit, maces, armor penetration, swords. You are losing 1% chance to get an extra attack on the same target, and polearm, never mind. Never mind. When it comes to polearm. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, third build. I was thinking about something with improved disciplines, but hold on a moment. Tactical, okay, let's start third build. Tactical mastery, 5 out of 5. Improved heroic strike, improved rend, deep wounds, master strike, improved overpower, only 1. Impale, two-handed weapon spec. Now we have sweeping strikes. Over here we have precision cut. We have improved disciplines. Now, reduces the cooldown of your retaliation, recklessness, and shield wall abilities by 12 minutes. Hold on a moment. Calculator. Let me see. 120. 120 minutes equals to 2 hours. More or less. I mean, more or less when it comes to raids. Now, what do we have over here? 12 minutes. 30 minus 12 equals 18. 18. 120 divided with 18 is 6. What kind of bullshit is this? 6.6 is devil's number. Haha. Lol. Omega lol. Never mind. Let me see something. 12. Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. So 120 divided with 18 is 6.60. This means that you will be able to use recklessness approximately, give it or take it, 7 times per raid. If your raid lasts 2 hours, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Then we have some points over here in this is without slam. This is without slam. Then we have some points over here in Master of Arms, and the rest just follow. This is by far the worst spec you can get. But if you are a recklessness guy, I mean, by all means, that's like if I'm correct, that's that. So 120 divided with 30 minus 18. Improved disciplines. Reduces the cooldown of your blah 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 blah. Shield wall abilities by 12 minutes. 30 minus 12 equals to 18. Divided with 18. Which is 6.66. So, if your raid lasts 2 hours, 20 minutes, you will be able to perform 7 recklessnesses. Is that how you pronounce it? Is that how you pronounce it? Recklessnesses. Nah, this is just not worth it. This is just not worth it. My little legends, I would go for this. I will go for this, honestly. I would go for this. No more bullshit, just facts and common sense. Let's fill precision cut. Let's put 4 out of 5 in Master of Arms. Let's put 2 out of 2 in Improved Slam. Mortal Strike, 5 out of 5 into Cruelty, 5 out of 5 Unbridled Wrath, 5 out of 5 Improved Shouts and Rage, and that will be your spec when it comes to Arms PvE Warrior. And you're gonna top up those meters. I can guarantee you that. If you don't want Precision Cut, you can simply put 1 more point in Master of Arms to top it up. But I would really go with Precision Cut because 15% base damage done by Execute means a lot. It's definitely better than 1 crit, some armor penetration, or an extra attack. 1% chance to get an extra attack. You feel me? You feel me, my little legends? So that's pretty much it. These are your talent points. I mean, I couldn't figure out anything else. I would like to put 5 out of 5 in Master of Arms. I would like to put 2 out of 2 in Improved Overpower. Improved Charge, nothing Deflection, nothing Improved Thunderclap, nothing Improved Disciplines, nothing Boundless Anger, nothing Booming Voice, nothing Dual Wield Spec, obviously, nothing Piercing Howl, nothing Blood Craze, nothing Blood Craze, nothing and Rage 5 out of 5. Don't forget that you can manipulate. Don't forget that you can manipulate Enrage with Blood Rage, because every single time you pop up Blood Rage, you will get Enrage in a new patch 1.18.0. That's it. That's it when it comes to talents. Let's move on. Alright, so let's do single target rotation first. However, bear in mind that this is still previous patch 1.17.2. We are not yet at 1.18.0, right? So I don't have Enrage over here. This is my build. So therefore I cannot manipulate Enrage with Blood Rage, right? You see? No Enrage. However, in 1.18.0, you guys will be able to manipulate Enrage with Blood Rage. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so single target rotation. Single target rotation is really simple. So first of all, I mean, if you're available to charge, I mean, if you can charge, by all means do it. Then you can look at all that rage that I'm getting over here. Immediately after charge, into Berserker Stance, into Auto, into Mortal Strike, into Auto, into Slam, into Mortal Strike, into Whirlwind, into Auto, into another Auto, into Slam, into Mortal Strike, into Heroic Strike to dump some rage. Wait for Mortal Strike. You see that damage. Slam, Whirlwind, into Auto, into Mortal Strike, into Slam, into Heroic Strike, into Mortal Strike, into Whirlwind, into Auto, into Slam, into Mortal Strike, into Heroic Strike. Always prior Mortal Strike over Whirlwind, because like we mentioned, Mortal Strike is getting buffed into Slam, into Mortal Strike, into Heroic Strike to dump some rage. Wait for Mortal Strike. Okay, let's get some rage. Auto is very important. Auto is very important. So into Slam, into Heroic Strike, into Whirlwind, into Mortal Strike, into slam, boom, into Mortal Strike. But we forgot one main thing. It doesn't matter if you're a Fury Warrior, Fury Proc Warrior, Deep Proc Warrior, Arms PvE Warrior, Thunder Armor, at least one or two. Don't be that greedy guy that wants to pull up all the damage while other warriors are doing thunders for you. If you apply thunders, that means more Wind Fury procs, because the Wind Fury, as I mentioned in previous video, Wind Fury procs on Thunder Armor. Don't be that guy, okay, I'm gonna Mortal Strike, I'm gonna Slam, I'm gonna Whirlwind, I'm gonna Heroic Strike, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and without any single Thunder Armor. First global rule number 1 when it comes to warriors. First global cooldown, Thunder Armor. Period. Simple as that, really. Simple as that. So let's repeat. So Mortal Strike into Slam, into Whirlwind, into Heroic Strike if you have Rage, into Mortal Strike, into Slam, into Mortal Strike. Let's wait for auto. Into Mortal Strike, into Slam, into Whirlwind, into Heroic Strike, into Mortal Strike. Boom. There you have it. That's pretty much it when it comes to single target. And of course, thanks to precision cut, your execute. However, when it comes to execute, I mentioned this in previous video also. So listen, guys. If you are in a better guild like, hold on, let me disable this bullshit over here. If you are in better guild that really has some good DPS damage overall, you might just consider popping Recklessness at 25 or 30%. The cooldown on Recklessness is 15 seconds. And for 15 seconds, you're able to do a lot of damage. So the faster the boss goes down, the more chance you have to perform execute. What I'm trying to tell you over here, you need to leech every single second of Recklessness, if that makes any sense. If you are in top guilds, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna glorify any guild over here on Turtle WoW, but if you are in guild that clears Karazhan 14 like hour and a half, 2 hours, if you are in guild that clearing Naxxramas within hour and a half, you know what I mean. Just pop Recklessness at 23, 4, 5%. Because if you pop it at 20%, you are losing. The boss will be dead and you will still have 6, 7, 8 seconds on your Recklessness. That's a lot of damage loss over there. What I wanted to talk now about AOE. Simple, really simple. Charge into Sweeping Strikes, into Berserker Stance, into Blood Rage, into Mortal Strike, into Whirlwind, into Cliff. Boom. There you have it. Okay, auto attack. I rage starved myself over there. Of course, thunder the target first. Thunder the target and repeat. Simple as that. Overpower procced. And there we have it. We have Sweeping Strikes once again. Let's wait a little bit more. Boom. Mortal Strike. Whirlwind, cleave. Auto attack, then cleave. Into Mortal Strike. Into Slam. Slam you can use, I mean, here and there, but yeah, you get the idea. Let me sunder this dummy over here. Let me sunder this dummy over here. Okay, so what did we say? We said Sweeping Strikes into Berserker Stance, into Whirlwind, into Mortal Strike, into Cleave. Boom. Into Slam, into Execute. Because Execute plays a huge role. When you have Sweeping Strikes, Execute is also doing a lot of damage. Execute is the reason. Actually, Execute is the Sweeping Strikes and Execute are the reason that Arms Warriors topping up the charts. You know, it's all about AOE. It's all about that damn AOE. Really simple. Really, really simple. So let's repeat once again. Battle Stance. Sweeping Strikes. Berserker Stance. Let's wait for Blood Rage. Boom, now we have enough rage. Mortal Strike. Whirlwind. Cleave. Into Slam. Into Mortal Strike again. Boom, into Execute. Execute, execute. However, make sure I don't have any LAP, LIP. How do you say lip? You say lip. Limited invulnerability potion. Be ready. Carry 20, 30 in raid of them. Because you will need them. You will pull a lot of threat if you are not careful. Simple as that, really. Not much philosophy. Not much philosophy going on over here. It's 21, 22 years old game. That's it. That's it when it comes to rotation. Simple. Really simple. And don't forget about slams. Slam is amazing. So now at the tooltip, as you can see, it says slam your opponent causing 90% weapon damage. In next patch, it will be 100. And they buffed Mortal Strike also. A vicious strike that deals 120 weapon damage. It will be 130 now. That's a big buff over there. Now let's talk a little bit about the gear. The best advice I can give you when it comes to gearing is 2 words. Atlas loot. Listen guys, there's no such thing as pre-raid BIS, aka best in slot, when it comes to Turtle WoW, because Turtle WoW is custom server. This is vanilla plus. There's so many weapons, there's so much armor, a lot of those things, you know. So just get on Atlas slot and see what fits you the best. Make sure though to install Atlas Loot TW Turtle WoW Edition version 3.1.6. That one shows you upper Karazhan holes also and all that kind of thingies. So for example, let's take, I don't know, what would I take? Let's take for example a Prot Warrior. So what would I do? I would go over here and then I have Stormmind Vaults, for example. You see Greaves of the Elite Guard. Amazing legs for Prot Warrior. Then second boss, Sabatons of the Elite Guards. Same. Then third boss. On third boss we don't have anything. Fourth boss, Damian. Shoulders of the Elite Guard, which are amazing. I remember when I was starting, I was tanking BWL with this set. I wasn't main tank, I was just off tank though. Then We have Vulcan, Gauntlets of the Elite Guard. This is amazing set. Then we have Ahn'Qiraj, Vault Defender, amazing shield. Amazing shield. Maybe even pre-raid BIS. Then you have Amulet of Warding. Increases your chance to dodge an attack by 1%. 13 stamina plus 2 spirit. Then you have Arcanite Shackles. Then you have Guard Captain's Chest Plate. And the list goes on and on. Helmet of the Elite Guard. This is even better. This is BOE. Leggings of the Elite Guard, also BOE. So this Atlas loot is the best thing. There is no such thing like. Many of you ask me, Narghul, can you please post pre-raid best in slot for Fury Warrior, pre-raid best in slot for Arms Warrior, pre-raid best in slot for Shaman, pre-raid best in slot for Priest, pre-raid best in slot for Warlock, pre-raid best in slot for that, pre-raid best in slot for this. If you were in a min-maxing guild, I would understand that. But hold on a moment. What does min-maxing guild even means? On Turtle WoW, there are no min-maxing guilds. Min-maxing guilds are guilds that are clearing Molten Core in 15-20 minutes. Min-maxing guilds are guilds that are clearing BWL in 17, 18, 19 minutes. Min-maxing guilds are guilds that are clearing Naxxramas in 35, 40, 45 minutes. There's no such thing on Turtle WoW as min-maxing. So, you don't have to be perfect to enter the raid. Especially raids like Karazhan 10, raids like AQ20, raids like ZG, Zul'Gurub, raids like Molten Core. Once you step into the Molten Core, you have brand new set. For example, let's take a look at the Warrior Collections Tier 1 set. Warrior. Crown of Might. Then you have Pauldrons of Might. Then you see on Turtle WoW, you have offensive and defensive gear. Same goes with Tier 2, really. Tier 3. And all that kind of thing is. Where is this damn Tier 2? Where is this? There it is. So, Warrior. You see? It's on you. It's on you just to connect the dots and see what fits you the most. You need 8% hit, but then again, hit depends on your weapon skill. The more weapon skill you need, the better it is when it comes to glancing blows. The more weapon skill you have, the more white melee damage you will deal. The more weapon skill you have, the less hit you need. And I'll show you why in few seconds. So that's pretty much it. Guys, don't overthink. Don't overthink. Oh my god, this guy has 1 or 2 more percent critical strike than me. How did he get that? I will not be able to enter in Molten Core. I'm not saying that you are supposed to enter in Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, AQ40 in green items or blue items. Level 54, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. But don't overthink. Don't take. There is no list. There is. There is. But it's really, really complex to make. So there is no like pre-raid best in slot. Just to get on Atlas loot, come to select loot table, get to the dungeons. For example, in Upper Blackrock Spire, you have these amazing shoulders, true strike shoulders. Then you have these amazing bracers with one chance hit and one chance critical strike. Then you have, I don't know, General Drakisat. You have Bridam Girdle, 15 strength, 16 stamina, and improves your chance to hit by 1%. Then you have Draconian Deflector, amazing shield. Pre-raid BIS, maybe even on Turtle WoW, with all those shields. Then you have Black Morass, Caverns of Time. This is a really nice sword, Time Lost Claymore. This is a really nice sword to start. Then you have, this is for tanks also, this headpiece over here, 22 strength, 20 agility, 22 stamina, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Then in, I don't know, Stratholm, let's take for example Stratholm, Baron Rivendare. You have Helm of the Executioner. Improves your chance to hit by 2%, 14 strength, 20 stamina, amazing headpiece, and so on. And you have so many items. You have so many items to choose from. Just don't overthink. It's easy, especially on Turtle WoW, where Molten Core is scalable to 20 people. Blackwing Lair is also scalable to 20 people. AQ40 is scalable to 20 people. Naxxramas is scalable to 30 people. And now, after patch 1.18.0, even Tower of Karazhan will be scalable to 35 people. Players, call them however you want. So that's it. That's it, my little legends. Let's move on to weapon skills, glancing blows, and hits. So this is weapon skill over here. I mean glancing blow, guys. Don't get scared. This is a really simple spreadsheet. New system versus old system. So what does new system means? The new system means that Turtle WoW implemented their own new system, and old system that's Blizz-like, what Blizzard have done. Alright. So what's the deal over here? Well, you see, it changes. Let's go for new system. This is old system over here, and this over here, this is new system. Right. For example, you have 300 weapon skill. Miss probability in old system is 8%. Miss probability in new system is also 8%. Not much changed over there. As you can see, glancing blow damage in percentage, new system 65%. Same thing in old system, 65%. Increase in glancing damage over baseline, old system, same with new system. But what happens when you get some weapon skill? Ideally, I know it's hard, but ideally you want your weapon skill on 315. That's the top. Okay, so I'm not gonna say 315, but let's pretend that we have 312 damage damage, sorry, weapon skill. 312. Glancing blow damage percentage in old system is 95%. On Turtle WoW is 89%. Increase in glancing damage over baseline is 46.15 in old system. In new system, it's 36.92. Let's call it 37%. Miss probability in new system is 5.6%, and miss probability in old system is 5.30%. Hit cap new system is 5.6%. Hit cap in old system is 5.30%. So the more weapon skill you need, the less hit you need. As you can see over here, for example, what did I say? 312. For 312 weapon skill, let's pretend that we are on 312. You need old system hit cap 5.3%, and on Turtle WoW you need 5.6%. If you manage to reach somehow 315, then you are at the top. Miss probability 5%, hit cap 5%. Same in new system. Same thing. Now over here we have increase in glancing damage over baseline, old system versus new system. The blue one is old system, and the red one is new system. Just look how perfectly they made this happen on Turtle WoW. So for example, let's see over here. You have 304 weapon skill, increase in glancing damage over baseline 24.62. Let's find 304 on new system. 304, let's see, 305. You see over here, 304. Increase in glancing damage over baseline new system 12.31. Blizzard probably had no clue what they are doing when it comes to glancing blows over here. But you can't blame them, really. I mean, there is so few weapons that increase weapon skill. Weapons like Maladat, weapons like the Hungary Cold, etc., etc. In Turtle WoW, on Turtle WoW, you have so many items. You have so many weapons that are increasing weapon damage. Doesn't matter, is it a two-hander, is it a one-hander, there is so many options. You have gloves from Oro, for example. You have belt from Molten Core. You have Doomsedge now increases axes, for example. You have shoulders in Blackwing Lair that are increasing swords. You have so many items. I can't even name them over here all. So this is what they have done over here is amazing. So yeah, the next thing over here, this is racial. So this only applies for humans and orcs, plus racial plus books. Exactly. So this is with book. For example, if you completed as a human or an orc quest line Ancient Warfare text, you get 5 points, right, from the quest. Plus, you get 3 points from your racials, which immediately puts you on 308 swords or axes if you are an orc. So over here we have 310, 313, which equals to 40%. Then we have 314, which equals to 43.0%. And then we have 315, which increases the glancing damage over baseline by 46.15%. Hit cap, old system ratio. Let me see something. Hit cap, old system. This is what we need. Hit cap, old system versus new system. Look how perfectly new system. The red line, obviously, the red line is new system. Just look how perfectly everything stacks. These are your weapon skills and glancing blows. So, long story short, the more glancing blow, the more weapon skill you have. The more weapon skill you have, you will get less, you will need less hits. The more weapon skill you have, the lower chance for your white attacks to miss. The more weapon skill you have, the bigger is threat if you are tanking. The more weapon skill you have, the bigger is DPS if you are DPSing. Simple. Really simple. So you want to pump up weapon skill as much as possible.